Bitcoin right now on a 15-minute chart, you can see there's lots and lots of things happening. This now here is a Bitcoin on a daily chart. Now hang on a minute. Why is it that every time the buyers come in and it looks like the buyers are about to take this to the high side, why is it that the sellers keep coming in? Is there something that people don't know? Is there something that we can see firsthand to say, okay, this is why the sellers are likely to come in? And the answer is yes. What is that? That's the weekly chart. So let's go down to the weekly chart and we can see what's been happening on Bitcoin and the cryptos. What's been happening through here? Let's actually bring this up through here, right? Now we can see here, right? We can see back here. Now let me actually, you know what, before I do that, let me go back in time. I'm going to go back in time through here and I'm going to share with you what was actually going on, before Bitcoin actually exploded. All right, let me actually open this right up. Now, if I'm having a look at Bitcoin, if I'm having a look at Bitcoin right now, what was happening through here? We had a low, then we had a high, then we had a higher low, big upward candle, breaking of the high. Remember, this is weekly chart, by the way, now, right? Weekly chart, higher high, higher low. Market runs up, makes a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then that's when the market really took off. So as you can see, Bitcoin on the weekly chart was making higher highs and higher lows all out. There was no need to try and short it at that time, was there? Now, if I go back in time, let me go right back in time here for a minute. As you can see, when did Bitcoin change its tune? Because there was a while there, right, when the market actually crashed. When did Bitcoin change its overall tune? Let me share this with you here. When did it change its tune? By looking at the overall market through here. So we can see here, look at this here. Low, major, lower, low. This is back in 2014. Lower high, come back down. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Lower high. So who's in control right now? Sellers. Higher high. Higher low. Bit of a higher high through here. And now we have what? Now we have basically double bottom. So who's in control right now? No one. But who's been in control this whole time? Lower high, lower high, lower high. So the sellers have been in control. So this big long-term weekly. So people that are trying to buy Bitcoin all through here and all through here are simply just trading against the overall trend. They're trading against the movement. Don't trade against that. When did it change? It changed when we started breaking a high. And then we came up and made this higher high and higher low. And when the market breaks this $480 mark, that's the weekly chart trending. Let me now go and take it on the screen. And now let's actually see when did we actually get that breakthrough on that weekly chart. There we go. That was the up candle, wasn't it? So this was the up candle that we looked at. So as of this point right now, who's in control of this overall big long-term crypto market? The buyers, because it's now made a higher high, high low. We went sideways for a while, which, by the way, this is actually a setup for me that I like to trade based on pullback with small bars, trading with the trend and the bar that stands out. This is a beautiful setup for me. Weekly chart setup. So if I'm looking to trade market, this is actually the type of setup I'm looking for. Sideways market, small bars, and then a bar that stands out, or a candle that stands out. But I'll talk more about that a bit later on. So as we can see right now, we can see the market's going overall sideways here, isn't it? It's gone really sideways through here, and then we get an upward candle. People that are still bearish on Bitcoin right now, what are they doing? They're probably likely to get slaughtered. And look what happens. Market continues. So we had a what? We had a higher low. So the point right now, can I do any more drawing on this thing? How do I draw? How do I draw? You click a button, John. Let's go. Where's these little drawing tools things? Pitchfork. No. Rectangle. Balloon. No. I know I'm gonna get something through here. Or anyway, I'll just do a line. There we go. That'll do. I'll just do a big thick line. There we go. All right. So look at here. Right. So we had a low, then we had a high, breaking on the previous high. Now we've had a higher high. So for this tune to change, meaning that the overall Bitcoin chart, is now likely to change. What needs to happen? It needs to what? Go down through here. Oh, geez. Look at that. Right, so that's what needs to happen, doesn't it? So, can I take this off? How do I take this off? All right, there we go. Cool. All right. So, and look what happens through here, right? Then the market pulls back through here. What's happening right now? The market is what? It's creating a potential higher low. And so now look what happens. Now we created what? Now we created, let me see, can I bring this back up through here? Oh, look at that. I just figured out how to use this thing. Then it created a high low. So who's in control right now? Buyers. So if you're a long-term buy and hold and you saw this, what would you be doing? You'd be what? You'd actually be bringing your stop here. Your stop would actually be back, probably back. Your stop as this market was going through here, right? Remember, if you're trying to capture a long-term upward move, you must expect the market's going to run for you, then pull back, run for you, then pull back, run for you, then pull back. So where would your stop be if you're looking to say buy Bitcoin at this time? Your stop would be, say, you bring your stop to above break even, so before, so you wouldn't lose on any money. You're not taking profit into a loss. Then the market comes up here. Then the market comes up here. I'm just gonna use the cursor here for a minute. Then the what? Then the market comes up through here. So you bring your stop to here, and then the market comes down, gives you another higher low. Then you bring your stop there. See how you're locking in prices as it goes along. So if you're looking to buy a stock or buy something, follow along with the market. Now, no, it's not going to happen all the time. You might get a big run up, and then you might get a big drop down, and then that may be the trade over. But if you believe something has long-term legs, it's going to do this. And then the market runs up. Where's it run up to? It runs up to the high up here, and then you bring your stop down, hey, and then you bring your stop to the higher low. So as you can see, you're locking in prices. The market absolutely just explodes, doesn't it? Absolutely explodes. But look what happens. Now it brings in what? And this is you just sitting here. And now you're bringing the stop to the low of the bar. Higher low. And then what happens? Then the market creates another higher low. So year after year after year, this is all you're doing. And then the market continues up from there. And then we bring this up through here. So then the market continues up. Now remember, and then you bring, so where was the next higher low? It's probably around here, right? And that's where you'd get tagged out. So from basically $1,000 up to $1,100 is what you would have caught and captured in a market like that. So let me see can I delete everything on the screen now? Did that delete everything on the screen? No, it didn't, did it? No. All right. So as you can see, right, like if you're looking to long-term buy and hold something, wait for that weekly chart to turn around and then start to use good stop management and see what it's got. Right? See what it's got. Be patient, use long-term stop management and see what it's got. But wait for that weekly chart to turn around first. Now, again, make sure you have a good system in place. Like even if I'm trading the weekly chart, I just shared with you what I look for on the daily chart, right? And whether I'm looking on the daily chart or the weekly chart, I still look for my setup. But let's have a look at what the Bitcoin market is doing right now as we speak. What is Bitcoin doing right now? Again, this doesn't matter what market you're looking at. Remember, we use this exact same analysis on the Dow Jones. what is the crypto market doing right now? It is what? This was the low. Oh, let me change color here. This is the what? This is a higher low. This is a lower high. As you can see, right, as the crypto market, as the Bitcoin market, right? Doesn't matter what market you're looking at there, as you can see. As Bitcoin started to break this low through here, what was that? What does that mean? The buys are no longer there on their prices. High, low, high, low, high, low. Now look what happened. It came down, made a lower low through here, then a lower high, then a lower low, then a lower high, then a lower low, and now recently it's now made another lower high. So Bitcoin has always been in a downward trend. And I know this sounds simplistic, but if I'm looking to buy Bitcoin for long-term buy and hold, if I'm saying, okay, Bitcoin's now likely to take off in another big bull run, guess what I would want to see first? What was happening back here? It was making high lows, breaking of the previous highs, as I shared with you through this session. Guys, give me a thumbs up if you're finding this really, really, really valuable. Give me a thumbs up or give me a yes in the chat box if you're finding this really, really valuable to understand when you're trying to buy even gold stocks, right? Or even if you're looking to buy some of the crypto market right now. You know, and it doesn't matter what market, out there you're seeing, it doesn't matter what market out there you're trading. Use this simple analysis to change things for you, to put the odds on your side, even more for you to start to do better with your trading, with your analysis, and with the way that you're looking at the markets. So right now, as we see with Bitcoin, the Bitcoin market, right? Bitcoin market is doing what? It's creating another lower low. So who's in control? Still majorly in control. Sellers. Sellers have been in control. Lower high, lower high, lower high. They haven't changed. And if Bitcoin breaks this 6,000 mark, guess where it's likely to run to? It's now likely to run to the next what? Next resistance level. Now, where is that next resistance level? As you can see, that the next resistance level, style. Oh, is that? Or the next resistance level is around here somewhere. Right, so if we break the 6,000 mark, we're now likely to probably head down, probably around about the 4,600, and potentially the support is actually down just below 4,000, the next support level. We may get a little bit of resistance up the top here, but there's another 1,000 or so point drop. So for me, yes, I want to buy cryptos. I want to buy some XRP because I think that's one of the best ones out there. That's just what I think anyway. But I'm not going to buy it just because I think it's a good idea. I'm not going to buy gold because I think it's a good idea. I'm not going to buy silver because I think it's a good idea. I'm not going to buy any gold stocks because I think it's a good idea. We want to make sure we're trading with that weekly trend. We want to make sure that we are trading with that weekly trend, and we're trading no matter what happens. We make sure that we continue to move forward in a way where we continue to go with that overall trend. So remember guys, if I'm trading a daily chart, I'm always looking to make sure that I'm trading with that weekly trend. Now, if I look to get in on a daily setup, and the weekly, if I look for a daily, if I'm getting on a daily, this is why I talk about probability, right? The probability of something happening. If I look to get in on a bullish daily setup, and the weekly chart is in a downward trend, then that has a very low probability chance of actually working out. If I get into a bearish setup and the weekly chart's in an upward trend, guess what? No. So everyone out there that is still trying to pick the bottom in Bitcoin, they are risking they are just hoping and praying, hoping and praying, hoping and praying. Now, on the daily chart, yes, you're going to get what? You're going to get your short-term little upward movements and so on and so forth. And if you wanted to trade that way, like you trade what I call like a short-term move, right? Like you're basically going to trade it, get in and hold it for a couple of days or whatever, and then get out. Then that may be what you're looking to do. But if you're looking to long-term buy and hold, don't be fighting that trend. I know it sounds simplistic, but don't be fighting the trend. And again, the weekly chart is always telling us. And it looks like it's actually building a bit of a base through here right now. So we may be getting ready for another big drop to the downside. So everyone who says that crypto market is going to form a bottom and it's going to go to the moon and, you know, it's going to explode and all that sort of stuff, there is nothing in the market. And people continue to get in right now because they're trying to pick the bottom. Do not pick the bottom. Do not try and pick the bottom. The most highest probability way for you to get in, if there is going to be another big run in Bitcoin, guess what it's going to do? It's not people so fearful of missing out, so they're trying to jump in now because before this thing absolutely just takes off. That's not what it's likely to do. What is it likely to do? Firstly, it's likely to break a previous high, right? So first we're likely to break a previous high. If it holds here, if say for example, Bitcoin holds here and rallies up to say here, say 11,000. What does that mean? That's now a change in trend. Then if it runs back down through here somewhere, starts to base out a little bit and then starts to rally up. Now what is that? Now we got a low, high, higher low. If I was looking to buy Bitcoin, I'd look to buy Bitcoin through here, a stop just below here, so it's a small stop, and then look to enjoy the ride up. If you know, and then again, I'll use my stop management, or I might just use the high, the low of the bar, which simply means. Let me just bring this back here. If you know the Bitcoin chart and so on and so forth, you could, as I said, again, you could use the low of the bar. So if you got into say this point through here, low of the bar. Oh, look, you got tagged out. If you got into this bar here, low. Oh, look, you got tagged out. So you could use the low of the weekly bars. Low. Oh, look, you got tagged out there before the pullback. So you could use the low of the weekly bars if you're looking to if you don't want to endure the major swings up and major swings down, which as you can see, right, can take sometimes a month or so before it goes for another run. Then use the low of the weekly bars. Right? And yes, you won't be capturing the big moves, but again, if you're looking to make sure you do that, then just scale out up there, right? And then once you get tagged out, as soon as it breaks the previous high, stop below the low, stop below the low, stop below the low. Oh look, bam, done. Stop below the low, stop below the low, stop below. Oh look, tagged out. Now again, guys, it's all about probability, right? It's all about using the probability. Please do not try and fight this trend. Do not try and fight the crypto market. Do not try and fight any of those markets.